Hey everybody, I'm Jennifer Angel. Welcome to this week's horoscope overview. This is for the week of September the 4th. First of all, I'll be going through the transits, what's happening with the planetary interactions. Then we'll be going on to each individual sign, okay? So when you get to the end, you don't have to watch everybody's sign. I'm going to put the timestamps down the bottom and you can just go to your sign because there's always someone else's sign we want to, listen to, right? All right, so let's get started with this. So right from the start of this week on the 3rd, so on the Sunday before the week starts, Venus, the planet of love and money, will finally come out of its retrograde transit. And although it is still in Leo, so it has a very, very strong, abundant energy. I love Venus in Leo. Really intensifies everything, both love, money, work. Of course, it always depends on where it sits within your personal chart. And that's an experience and that's a gift to give to yourself. If you haven't had your chart read, it really is my specialty. I'm very, very good at it. I get comments like, wow, I've never had a chart reading like this before. So all sorts of things come up. It's quite a bit of prep work I do for it, and it takes a good 90 minutes, if not a little longer, to give and go through. Okay, or you can bundle it and have the chart and the transits as well. Anyway, it's all on my site on jenniferangel.com under private sessions. So go and have a look at that. Reach out if you've got any questions, and we can get together and chat about what you want to achieve from the session. Okay, so so this is a great time, with Venus coming out of retrograde. It's good news for anybody, as I said, if you're looking for love or money or looking to upscale your life. So that's pretty well all of us, isn't it, right? And at the same time, on the 4th, Mercury, which is the planet of communication, education, and creativity, is now in its retrograde. It's in its retrograde transit. There's always something retrograde, right? And it's going to trine Jupiter. So a trine is called, it's like a softer aspect. It's like an easygoing formation. And, it really does highlight the path of least resistance, more of that allowing energy than working hard and going out after it. Of course, you have to be mindful to get out of your own way and allow the energy to come through. And one of the ways to do that is just to keep your vibrational energy high, happy, and positive, okay? And how do you be happy all the time? So the key to happiness is find out what makes you happy, do more of it. In the process of finding out what makes you happy, then there's always a process of being realistic and getting a realization of what does not make you happy, and so you do less of that. I know, easy equation, isn't it? Much easier to say than do, I know. All right, so you want to be mindful that the energy will change as Jupiter also, as it enters its retrograde transit. So, and this is, also on the 4th. So as that happens, insights and realizations can just come like flooding through right now. And because it's retrograde, when there's a retrograde, what happens is things tend to slow down a bit because the planets sort of slow down. So it gives the illusion that it's going backwards. It's really just an illusion. It's just a slowing. And so in that case, or in that sense, things from the past do often come back, all right? So you want to just, putting all this together, you want to just take notice, be mindful, be conscious of the thoughts that are coming into your mind, things that you need to pay attention to. And, I often find that you know, there's things that happen like on top of each other, like something happens and then, oh, okay, you hear someone else saying it, or you read it, or you see it, or someone else comes up with a situation that's similar. It's like, this might be a message for me. Okay, so just take notice of it and be mindful of it. All right, because, you know, perhaps a long-standing situation, you know, from the past, or maybe even from your childhood, for instance, could be a limitation that's like well set in your, you know, become like a limiting thought. So, you know, if stuff like that comes up, you want to take a step back, take a moment, take a few deep breaths and look at it, see how you feel about it. And, you know, personally, when I've done that, I've come to the conclusion, not always, of course, but many times I've come to the conclusion that, you know what, I'm not even that person anymore. Like this limitation of this thing that happened to me, like years ago, many moons ago, it has no place in my life anymore. I mean, I'm not that person anymore. I've overcome that. I've had many situations where I've, you know, been successful. It hasn't bothered me. So, you know, why am I still hanging on to this? Like, just, you know, let it go. Be mindful, decide, you know, make a commitment. You know what, every time that thought comes up and again, then I'm going to make a conscious decision to pivot to a new thought, so I don't have to keep bringing that vibrational energy into my life. Okay. Excuse me. So midweek, the sun will connect with Mercury, okay, and what's called a conjunction. This is when two planets are at the same degree. So in that sense, the energy is intensified between the planets, and that's why the astral conjunction aspect is considered to be a trigger point. And, you know, it's a trigger point where things can happen, they can take place, they can further develop, or you can just simply gain more clarity, you know, that aha moment. All right. And the week's going to conclude with another trine aspect, and this time it's between the Sun and Jupiter. So it's one of the luckiest, most beneficial interactions for the year. When Jupiter and the Sun get together. However, remember, Jupiter is retrograde now, so, you know, it does provide further knowledge into why we do things, why we do what we do, and to consider, are they working for us or are they not working for us? And you know, if not, then this is an ideal time just to evaluate what you need to do to change. And, you know, I have found from studying under, you know, many mentors and consistently working on raising my vibratory energy, that, you know, I'm an earth sign, Capricorn. We tend to get so caught up in the how and the doing. And, you know, one day I realized that I had changed what I'm doing, because, you know, that old saying, you know, keep doing the same thing, wanting a different result. I think they call that, you know, madness or something. I can't remember the actual term right now, but you know what I mean. And so you can change what you do, but unless you change how you feel about it, that vibratory energy, then it's likely nothing will change. Okay, so you want to, like, just, you know, think about that and bring that together to be aligned. And one of the ways I do that is I get a hold of a time in my life or a memory where it was really exciting and hugely positive or successful. And I like to think of that first love moment. You know, that moment when you first fall in love and everything's like amazing and beautiful and it's exciting and you got butterflies and you can't keep the smile off your face. And so, you know, if you get a hold of a moment like that, then you can, number one, intensify it. Number two, you just carry that energy over to the other areas of your life. Okay, it works, it really does. Okay, so you know, then we get back to just to reiterate, the first step to making changes in your life is to notice what's happening. Okay, what are you doing and why are you doing it? And does it have any place in your life now? Well, possibly not. That's what I find anyway. So what are you thinking? And then you can consciously decide to make a change. And how you make a change is like repetition. Don't try to take on too much at once. Just try to make one change at a time. Okay. So in this essence, it's a very positive interaction, especially if you take your time to be mindfully aware. All righty. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and look at each of the signs. As I said, I'm working on your sun sign. This is the content which is published in Star Magazine every week and published on my website every week as well. Okay, all right, so starting with Aries. So there's a new developments at work and it can go in your favor, Aries. Okay, so be prepared to act quickly, but listen carefully to receive clear instructions. Don't be in so much of a hurry that you miss half of what you're meant to be doing. All right, love and romance are passionate right now. You've got Mars, right opposite in your relationship zone. And so, when there's an electric connection of souls, which you can get right now, then you know it. All right. It's, you know it in your heart, you know it in your soul, you know it consciously and unconsciously. Taurus. A situation at home can work out better than you think right now. However, you may need to work through a past issue just to clear the air. And it's like, okay, that's done. We don't have to tackle that again. A project at work can get the green light. But, don't be too quick to take control. I mean, you're very organized, you're good at taking control, but you want to get the facts first, all right? You've got Mars sitting in that area of productivity, which can really just mess with your normal methodical essence and throw you into a little bit of chaos. So be mindful of that. And, with all this going on, you want to make time for romance, okay? Make time for it. Gemini, a family discussion can solve a dilemma, but be careful not to slip into old patterns. You want to get a system in place at work as well, and just to be productive and focused. So, there's movement right now with, your work and your personal life, but try to, with so much retrograde going on, coming and going, it's a time really that you can just clear old patterns and replace them with better ones, all right? And systems are a way to do that. Just enjoy love moments by staying in the present, okay? And you're going to leave the past behind. When we focus on the past all the time, well, guess what? That's our energy and that's what we attract back in our lives. And so keep your mind on where you are now and where you want to go, all right? Cancer. An opportunity through a friend can present itself during this time and actually be a very good money spinner. So we like that. But don't agree too quickly. There's a lot going on at the moment and you want to just make sure everybody's on the same page, number one. Number two, give yourself time to think through the pros and cons. Now at home, try to just go with the flow of it, see what unfolds, all right? So spend some time with the people who love and support you. And, if you've been trying to make something work with a friend and it's not, maybe it's time just to have a little distance, all right? All right, so Leo, Venus retrograde in your sign opens the doorway to get relationships back on track. Because Venus is coming out of its retrograde transit, so this is going to just open things up, all right, both for business and personal. And when it's about money, just just be positive, stay in that positive realm, you know, make sure your energy is aligned with your dreams. And so, and what that really means, Leo, is like, get your dreams down, do your goals, okay? I mean, you know, that saying, you know, if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. I really believe that. Of course, I'm a Capricorn, so I'm a big like goal planner. But you know, you have big aspirations, Leo. So once you get them down on paper, you focus on them, then you can keep your focus on where you want to end up, not where you've come from. Okay. And during this time, you just want to avoid rash decisions as well while Venus is coming out of its retrograde transit and, you know, Mars sitting in your area of communication. All right, so Virgo, this is a perfect week to review your goals. Virgo, just take stock of where you are, where you want to be, and devise a plan to get there. I feel like I'm saying this to a few signs this week, and often the energy does do that, you know, just sort of bring through, that's the energy, and so it shows up in more than one sign. But, you know, be mindful of your self-talk, you know, eliminate any negative thoughts. You know, you never want to lose sight of your dreams, and, you know, to stay connected with your dreams. And part of that is visualizing them, reading them, you know, read your goals every single day, twice a day, you know, get it into, if it's too long, then get it into like, what's it called, a vision statement, and like just get a few paragraphs. I mean, my vision statement, purpose vision statement actually takes about 8 minutes to read. But, you know, you can start with just a couple of minutes. The other thing you can do is you can record it as well. So if you don't have time to read it in the morning, I don't know about you, but I have like a, you know, 2.5 hour energy work and routine and ritual that I do in the morning. So sometimes, you know, if I've got an early morning appointment, then I'll listen to my purpose statement, you know, just on the phone where I've recorded it. And so, you know, that's just another way to be productive, another way to ensure that you do it every day. Okay. All right, so Libra, the most fabulous love affair for Libra is to fall in love with your best friend, right? Of course. And of course, it's like that for everyone, but for Libra, it's really a must, you know, and all that is possible right now. I mean, if the influence of Venus in your star chart, which is in your friends and a social area of your star chart, it can help to repair a past relationship as it comes out of its retrograde transit this week. You've got that last little bit of retrograde for Venus, you know, just helping you come to terms with something from the past. Mars also in your sign ensures that life is busy. When Mars is in your sign, guess what? You want to get organized because it can just have you spinning your wheels, going on a little treadmill. So the more organized you are with Mars in your sign, the more you're going to be able to accomplish, okay? All right, Scorpio. So if you need to have a candid chat with a friend, Scorpio, then go ahead and do it, but be diplomatic. I mean, Mercury is still retrograde, and it's in your area of social events and friendships. So, you know, just be a little careful of that. When it's retrograde, I find it's actually a good time to tackle some issues, but it's the way, you know, that saying is, it's not what you say, it's the way you say it. So keep that in mind, all right? And if you're looking for love, who's not looking for love, right? You know, aim for a relationship that's going to provide a level of substance and stability, all right? And to reset your relationship, if you're in a relationship, you want to say get that spark back, or it needs a little bit of maintenance, then just be sincere and speak from your heart, because you know what, no one can mess with that, right? It's like, this is how you feel, so no one can mess with that. And at work, if you're working on something creative, then that really has a great vibe about at the moment, and especially as Venus is coming out of retrograde, then it's good for money, good for relationships, good for working relationships, and good for money. All right, yay, we love that. All right, so Sagittarius, get ready to turn the heat up at work, Sagittarius. There's lots going on in your chart right now. When someone offers you an idea or a concept or even a partnership, you want to sit up, you want to take notice, okay? And sometimes opportunities don't come around again, so you want to make sure that you don't just brush it off. It could be something amazing, and if it's not, then of course you can say, thank you, but no thanks. And it's really important during this time not to take anything or anyone for granted. You want to do your own research and just make it happen. You're a fire sign, so one of your main things is to stay connected, just to stay focused and connected with what you're doing, okay? And of course, yes, of course you can get people to help you, but when it's got your name on it, you want to make sure that you take the responsibility and look over the details. All right. Okay, so Capricorn, your career buzzes with energy and opportunity. Yay, Capricorns, we love that. Okay, so Venus, the planet of connections, can put you in front of the right people for money right now. So we like that too. It's good for winnings as well. So if you're a lotto player, this would be a good week to play lotto. A past relationship can renew. So, it's particularly if you're not being pushy and trying to be overly controlling. So just see what happens there, because with Venus coming out of retrograde, then that can help renew and can help renew on a more sincere, intimate level as well. And when the energy between you and another person is different, you'll feel it, okay? So, just keep in touch with your inner wisdom and your intuition. All right, so Aquarius, change at home or in your love life can be just what you wished for, okay? And you want to have it, let life just unfold without too many expectations, right? So even though things can start to be falling into place, just, try to let it go, try to be open to see what comes next. I mean, that mystery of life can be exciting if we just allow it, Fortunately, you are a fixed sign, but you're not one of the overly controlling signs. We'll leave that to Capricorn, guilty, and Scorpio. But all the fixed signs are a little controlling, I must say. All right, so a previous money matter may need your attention now, so don't delay on that. And try not to keep secrets. Okay, not everybody needs to know your business, for sure, but with Mercury retrograde, Venus coming out of retrograde, Mercury going into retrograde, then, try not to keep too many secrets. If people need to know, then, let them know. Pisces, you can breathe new life into relationships now, Pisces. But first, you need to come to terms with the past, all right? Now, I find when we talk about the past, there's a couple of things here. Firstly, it's good to focus on the past solely to get realizations, all right? So do you need that anymore? Can I get closure on that? I notice that, and I notice I'm still doing that and repeating, a lesson, let's call it a love lesson for now, from the past. Do I need to do that again? Because guess what? We're not, when things happen in our past, and we're relating to them now, then we're not that person anymore. Chances are it has no relevance now. and you know, you can change that. All right. The other thing is, don't stay in the past. All right. So the manifestation formula is recognize the past, recognize what's happened. Okay. All right. And then be mindful to change it. The only reason to recognize it and focus on the past is to notice it and release it, let it go, and then change it with a new habit, pivot to a new habit. So the power is focusing on the now, being happy in the present, and focusing on where you want to go, what you desire to do, okay? Because that's the vibratory energy that you're going to bring in, okay? It's possible to meet someone new now too. So when we're talking about love, you can renew a past relationship or meet someone new. Or if you're in a relationship and there's a few niggly little points, you need a little bit of love maintenance, then you can do that now too. All right, let's go on to money. So spending cash on your personal experience and overall well-being is money worthwhile spent. So, you know, keep that in mind. I mean, of course, don't bust the bank doing it, but the better you can feel about yourself, the better you feel about the world at large, and the more you're going to attract people who resonate with the real you, all right? Not someone that you're pretending to be. Okay, so thanks so much for watching. I hope everybody has a great week, and if you haven't subscribed, then I'd love you to do that, and we'll see you next week. Bye for now.